Hi. Okay, so can you believe it? I actually have it in me to put makeup on 2 days in a row. Like, who is this? Who is this person? Who is definitely not me because I am not the one who does stuff like this. But here we are. So, 2 days in a row. And my hair is a mess, but it looks better than yesterday, so that's good. Um, I can't find my little clip, so I keep having to use this big giant one, and yeah, it's not the best for what I'm trying to do, but so what I decided was David, I don't know if you guys know this, but David only gets off for sure 1 day a week. So positively, he will always have a Sunday off. Whether or not he gets other days off during the week, we don't know. But it'll always be Sunday. And I work, I mean, even though I'm not working right now because I'm on medical leave, but I work 5 days a week. I get 2 days off. That's going to be changing in the end of September. And I'm going to be working 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts, and then have 3 days off a week, which is cool because, if you get a choice, who wouldn't want to have multiple days off a week? And yes, 10 hours a day is a lot, but it's really only 2 extra hours to have off a whole entire extra day. So, you know, I'm just trying to cover all the red. Everybody always asks me if that's a pimple. Not a pimple. People who have known me for many, many, many years will still ask me, or they'll still tell me, hey, you have a pimple on your nose. And I'm like, or you should pop that. I'm like, look, you have known me for well over 15, 20 years. Ouch. And, oh, that really hurt. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. And it's hard because my mirror is so far away. So I'm trying to get like the little hairs, but it's a little bit more harder to see. Ow. That really, how did I do that? Well, at least it's not bleeding, but still. I've done that before, even just like plucking a hair out where it bleeds and that's painful. And I'm like, but whatever. People have known me for 10, 15 years, 20 years even, because I've had it since I was a kid, um, will still tell me stuff like, oh, you should really pop that pimple on your nose. And I'm like, what pimple? It's not a pimple. It's um, a red mole. They're called like cherry angiomas or something like that. And I don't have just that one. I have that one. Sometimes I get another one on my face. I have that one right there. Um, I have one that comes and goes on my wrist a lot. But like I have them, I have a few of them. And it drives me nuts when people will tell me, oh, you should really pop that. And it's like, trust me, if I could, I would, but it's a like it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna go anywhere because it is not a pimple. And that's cool if you don't know me that well, you've never really been around me, you've not seen me that much, whatever. Okay. That's one thing. But what I'm talking about is people who literally, like people I went to school with, people who I seen like every day growing up. There's really two people who do it. And I've known both of them since I was like 10 years old. Well, one of them is my cousin, and I've known her my whole life. And then the other one is her friend, who I've known since I was like 10. I'm 42, so we've known each other for at least 30 years. And I've had that cherry mole, at least since I was like 16, at least. And here, like, she's still to this day, whenever we see each other, and we don't see each other that often anymore, but you know, whenever we see each other, she will tell me, you have a big old pimple, you should pop that. Sorry, David's cutting his hair in the bathroom, and I'm trying really hard to not let the sound become annoying, and I hope it doesn't, but we shall see. So I got some new e.l.f. makeup, and I decided that I felt good yesterday after I got dressed and made up. And again, SPF tinted moisture. Oh no, protectant daily SPF with tint. So I'm using that again today because it's hot and the sun's out and I need to protect the skin on my face. And this is called e.l.f. Bronzing Drops in rose gold. They have them for like different shades of skin color. This doesn't say on the box. It doesn't say on the box, but this color was for like medium colored skin. They only have 3 shades, so look, nothing's coming out. What the heck? Okay, so I think I was supposed to put it on with my moisturizer, but too late. Okay, I want to put a little bit of the color on my cheeks to try to hide some of this super redness, and then this side has like no color, so I totally did not use that right, but next time. And then I got Monochromatic multi-stick. One of them is, this one is Glimmering Guava, and this one is Luminous Berry. It's supposed to be like a multi-use thing, where it could be used like as a blush or a tinted lip balm. Not lip balm, but a tinted, you know, balm. Okay, well, it definitely is concave in the middle. And you could totally see, okay, well, you could totally see how concave it is. So only the outside is like stamping, and then the inside is like not doing a darn thing. So let's see. You guys, I really need to clean my makeup brushes, like for real, for real. It's been way too long since I've cleaned them. Well, I don't wear makeup like hardly ever anymore. I used to wear it every single day. I was in a point in my life where when I was young, I wouldn't even go outside unless I had makeup on. I wouldn't. Like, I felt ashamed. I felt, you know, I mean, I always feel ugly, but I felt ugly, and I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. I felt like, how could I bother to go outside without makeup on? And I wouldn't. I would have to put makeup on. I had to put makeup on. I had to every single day. I had to put makeup on because I was ashamed and I was embarrassed, and you know, I grew up with a lot of people who also have body dysmorphia, and they also feel the same, like they won't go outside without makeup on. And I have an aunt who to this day, and she's in her 50s, will not be seen in public without makeup on. And maybe she's even in her 60s, I'm not sure. But I know a lot of people in my life who refuse. Yes. Yeah, what's up? What's up? You said we're going somewhere. You changed your mind? So I shouldn't be getting dressed? Okay. I bully. But anyways, so I grew up in that you have to get dressed to be seen in public. You have to um I was kind of taught that I needed to be embarrassed or ashamed to be seen in public if I was not um presentable. For some people, that's how they feel, and that's okay if that's how you feel. But it's wrong to teach people that they require makeup to be in presence of people. Like, it's one thing if you enjoy doing it. It's one thing if you want to have makeup on. It's one thing if you like it. It's one thing if it makes you feel good. That's one thing. But it is far another to teach a child, you know, you are not worthy to be in the presence of other human beings unless you have makeup on because you're ugly without it. And I just happened to grow up learning that. And I also, somewhere along the lines, grew up falling in love with makeup. But when I got really, really, really depressed recently, um, somewhere around COVID time, I just didn't ever want to, I just never wanted to put it on again. I just, I felt like I was not deserving of doing something that I enjoyed. I felt like I wasn't worthy to present myself to other people in a in a um, in a more accepted manner. I felt like, you know, I just I needed to punish myself for being, you know, sad, depressed, fat and ugly. And the only way I was going to do that was by stopping the only thing that made me feel good. You know, the one thing that I really enjoyed doing was putting makeup on. And it was making sure that I had the ability to play with new colors and processes and, you know, stuff that I enjoyed doing. Just, I didn't feel worthy. And not that you have to feel worthy, or not that I am worthy, or not that, you know, other people require it from me. It's just, I didn't feel like it was something that I deserved, you know? But eventually, I came to the conclusion that I no longer needed to do it, and I would just do it because I wanted to. And that really helped in some ways, but in other ways, it just kept me in the same loop that I was always in, you know? The whole like, I don't know why, and I think it's just because I can't see. I'm too far away from the mirror, but I am really missing this waterline. And I am messing up my eyeball because I'm getting the eyeshadow inside of my eye instead of on the waterline. And I'm just literally too far away from this mirror. But again, I still don't know where my compact is, so I don't have a closer mirror. This is the only option that I have. But sucks because now I have eyeshadow in my eye. And it'll come. Eventually it always just comes to the tear duct, and then we'll get it out. So, you know, I don't want anybody to ever grow up hearing from me like, you have to do this. You know, you're not this or you're not that or whatever. And you have to wear makeup in order to be acknowledged by society. Because otherwise you're just, oh man. I was packing one day and I had put this makeup, this eyeshadow kit and this eyeshadow kit on the top of the couch. I don't know how I did it, but somehow they both fell and they broke. So some of the, like the things, they don't hold together. Hey, idiot. I completely forgot that there's a mirror in here. But they both broke and eyeshadow broke out of a lot of the pellets and the thingy broke and it just made me sad. But what can you do? And so now I'm in this position where I do things because I want to feel better about myself. And I want to sometimes just enjoy the process again, which is why I don't do it often, because it really takes a lot for me to even want to. Oh, this eyelid. This one is the problematic eyelash. Problematic eyelashes. You could probably see how it's twisting. Yep, here we go. See? Oh, I hate that it does that. I don't know how to fix it either. It never did that when I was young. It just recently started doing that over the last like year or two. Do not know how to fix it. It drives me nuts. Nuts. Aw, nuts. Wait a minute. Didn't I have... Oh, here it is. So, I am really working hard with my therapist on learning to cope with things that I never learned to cope with as a child. So that as an adult, I have different skills on how to deal with life outside of food, because that is 100% what I do. You know, most people who grow up to be a substantial size, you know, like not even obese, but super morbidly obese, which I know sounds like a superhero, right? Oh, you're like Superman. Yep, super morbidly obese man. You know, well, I'm not a man, but you know what I mean. Like, yep, I'm super morbidly obese woman. And it just sounds weird, but it's really what it's called. It's really called being super morbidly obese. And there isn't anything I could do about it because that's just what it's called. But, you know, there's a lot of people out here who, you know, they're like, oh, I don't want to be called, you know, obese or whatever. And who wants to be called obese? Nobody. But it's the medical term. The medical term is obese. So what should we instead call ourselves? I mean, I'll call myself Delilah, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, if it's the medical term for what you are, it's like, I have asthma and I don't want to be called an asthmatic. Like, okay, but you have asthma. And not that people on the street are going to know that, but when my doctor goes over my medical records and talks to me about my conditions, asthmatic is going to come up. And I'm supposed to tell them, you know, I don't like that word. It makes me uncomfortable or whatever, but I don't know. I guess words just don't bother me the way that they do other people. Um, and I'm not here to say that you're wrong if it bothers you, or you're right if it bothers you, or whatever. I'm just curious as to what the reason behind it is, I guess. I don't know. And I need a new mascara because this one's getting really old. You're supposed to change your mascara like every 3 months, but I don't even use it more than once or twice in 3 months. And twice is pushing it. 3 times. I don't know. But so it is what it is. I am super morbidly obese. And I am working on it so that I can learn new coping mechanisms, new coping skills, so that I'm not constantly running to food. You know, with this new medication, you know, although food isn't on the forefront of my mind, now I'm like, how do I deal with these emotions that come up? Because the answer was always eat them away. Now I can't do that. So now what do I do? Now what do I do? And the answer is I really just don't know. I really just don't know what I should do now. So, because I don't know, I'm really kind of conflicted. I really like this color, but I feel like it's just too much. That's better. So, what do I do? How do I deal with emotions when food isn't what I want to deal with, like what I want to use anymore? And partially because I just can't stomach the food. I can't, like, I don't even want to think about it. But the other part is I know that I need a different outlook. I need a different, you know, way of dealing with things. And I know all of these things. And even though I have always gone that route, I don't want to do that anymore. And how do I stop doing that if I don't have other tools in my toolbox? In on Like, I don't know how else to deal with things. So I need to learn new ways to deal with things. I need to learn how to not just feel overwhelmed and sad and scared or happy or any emotion at all. I would drown it with food. Celebrate it with food. I would give into it with food. I would cry it out with food. But I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't want to not know how else, like, I don't know how to deal with things. So we're learning, we're trying, and, you know, I don't have all the answers. I don't have right now any answers. Um, but I do hope that soon I will have a lot more answers so that I don't feel so alone. Because I feel very alone without food. I feel very alone. And I don't want to feel that way. I don't like the way it feels. So, one thing at a time, right? one thing at a time. And this is like a big giant mess here. We've got to just throw stuff away. But I'd love to hear about what you're doing for yourself this week to make yourself feel, just a little bit better. What is it that you are doing to show yourself love? I want to hear all about your ups and your downs. I want to be there to hug it out with you. And again, we are on the mission to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we have about 5.5 months to get 76 more subscribers. And I'm positive that we can do it. I really, really just want to thank you guys for spending time with me. And, in this world, that's the only commodity that is like seriously priceless is time, and you have chosen to spend time with me. And that means so much to me. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the shares. Thank you. And I will see you guys soon. Bye. I know, makeup all over my hands. I gotta go wash my hands. See ya.